Let's go!
As a kid, he would sneak out of the farmhouse and gaze at the stars. It was his escape from his world plagued with dualities. Growing up as a biracial kid left Anthony McLean to deal with his fair share of difficulties. From being bullied to being a bully himself, he eventually turned to his love of music to seek refuge. One day, a conversation with a school counselor changed his life forever. Now, this walking beam of light travels the world spreading his message of self-acceptance and understanding of others. He's blessed the mic as a rapper and a speaker for many years. Working with the likes of Breakfast Television and 20th Century Fox, he's now blessing our mics in this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony McLean.
Straight out of the T-Dot.
That's what it is.
Live from the 6 boroughs.
Don't go nowhere.
For sure. Welcome to Standing in the 6 with your hosts, Michael and Constantine.
Well, it's a wonderful day today. A wonderful day. We got the amazing Anthony McLean in the house. Am I saying it properly? McLean or McLean?
Yeah, McLean. It's spelt clean, so people often say McLean.
Yeah.
But no, it's McLean.
Ooh.
You know what's funny? I have a friend who I've known since 6th grade. And he still calls me McLean, and I've never corrected him.
Really?
But I think now that it's out on the podcast, I think I'm going to send him this link, and he'll know who he is. What's up, Alex? How you doing, man?
So you call him out.
Yeah. There you go, man. There you
You've
go.
never correct. So
I've never.
So is it his mistake or is it your mistake?
Yo, that's a good point. I should have corrected him.
Since
it's on me.
Since sixth grade.
6th grade, man. So McLean.
Okay.
Nice,
Okay.
man. Nice.
Anyone who knows him, we also call him MC Lean. So
Yeah,
Really?
that works.
MC Lean.
Because I'm a speaker and a rapper, so the MC is perfect. So
Yeah,
MC,
exactly.
You know?
Speaking of, again, great introduction, self-introduction. We got Anthony McLean in the house with us, speaker, rapper. His specialties are mental health, diversity, as well as bullying. So he's kind of covered the globe, been as far as Australia.
Yeah, South Australia. That's right.
Kicked some kangaroos. He was just in Montreal last week. Been through the States, Chicago, kind of some of the tough parts of Chicago as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah. So
all
how's
over.
it been? I know like there's so much to you, but the element of you speaking in schools, you get to like, man, a lot of people at home, they don't, I guess they're used to just having their kids with them. You get to have hundreds of kids in your presence.
Yeah.
Every single week. With Jerry, does that sound like a dream?
Absolutely. This guy's good. I watched him on YouTube, and I'm like, awesome.
Yeah, nice. Jerry loves kids.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
So how is it, man? Like, how's it been? How's the journey been?
You know what's been really cool traveling to all these schools around the world is how similar kids are today because of the media. And because all around the world, everyone is plugged into very similar media, like across languages, across cultures, religions. So jokes work internationally. Music references work internationally. I rap it on my school presentations. And as soon as I play that beat and they hear like trap drums, it doesn't matter where I am, everyone gets hype.
It's amazing.
I can be, in the most prestigious private school, or I can be in the inner city, and it's really cool right now because everyone's kind of sharing the same heartbeat. So it's a really special time.
Yeah, the true test is North Korea, if you ever get to go there.
You know what? Actually, you're right. When I say there might be a limit to that, the trap drums might not be really killing it on the charts in North
You
Korea.
never know. I think Drake's everywhere. So as long as you're leading with God's plan or something, right? You should be good. Can you imagine?
I like
Speaking
that.
of Drake, didn't he? Apparently, I was hearing that at the was not the Grammys yesterday, was it?
Yeah, Grammys. Yeah.
Yeah, he got apparently his speech got cut off midway, and he started talking about, I guess, real life things, and they just cut it off. I mean, he was still talking, but it
Wow.
stopped airing.
Really?
Yeah, but apparently won a couple of awards. I wasn't sure exactly.
Well, I think the take on it was that he was basically saying, if people buy your music, you're already a winner.
Yeah.
So that the Grammy doesn't really mean much.
and also,
And they
he
said,
didn't-
okay, let's wrap that up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they also didn't like bow down to the Grammys, which is basically what they want, right? It's like, he didn't thank the Grammys or anything of that sort.
Yeah.
At least I don't think he did.
I saw on Instagram, he posted a picture of the Grammy, and he said something about how it was too live for TV. So I guess that was referring to the fact that he got cut off. But man, I'm telling you, I'm so happy that he won. I love his speech. I love what he said, encouraging people. And yeah, it's great, man.
Too live for TV. That's a
Something
great
like
statement.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony,
Makes sense.
speaking of rap, okay,
Uh-huh.
I mean, obviously, you just said you rap.
Yeah.
Did you ever have this vision when you were younger that you wanted to kind of follow in those footsteps and break out into like a like a successful rapper that the world knows, like a Drake?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I remember being, so when I grew up in Aurora, Ontario. My dad is black, my mom is white, which makes me confused. And I remember growing up, usually the only black kid in my class. I self-identify as black. And one of the only ways that I felt a connection to black culture was through music. Because here I'm in Aurora, Ontario, and I don't have any black family in Canada. My dad moved to Miami, my parents split up, and so me and my brother, we were on our own, and I felt like music was my connection. So I would listen, I'd put on headphones and I'd listen to, rap, and it made me feel plugged into my culture. And so I'd rap along to Biggie and Tupac and Wu-Tang and Nas and Outkast and all these rappers. And I would rap along and I would imagine an audience in front of me. And so when I was in grade 6, I was 11, my mom got remarried to a farmer who lived in Sharon, Ontario. And so we moved to a farm, and there was nothing around. And I would sneak out every night from like grade 7 on. I'd sneak out every night, and I would just hang out in the trees and look up at the stars and just dream about what life's really about.
This sounds like a movie, like a scene in a movie. Like
For real, huh?
How you're painting the picture.
Really, yeah.
I can just picture straw in your mouth now as you're looking at the stars. Yeah.
So you're listening to Biggie,
Yeah,
Tupac,
yeah.
Nas, Wu-Tang.
Come on, Outkast,
Right?
Souls of
Outkast,
Mischief.
Tribe,
You already
Tribe.
know. Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah. Fushnikins.
While looking up at the looking up Fushnikins. While looking up at the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
and looking at the
interesting.
stars. And man, I remember that's really where like my entire soul and spirit was shaped. Was by myself on this farm that I hated, but looking up at the stars every night, wondering, is there more?
Wow.
Yeah.
That is an opening movie scene.
It is.
Yeah.
And what's crazy, because we're gonna jump all over today. I mean, there's so much that you've done in your life, but I want to just tap right into when you mentioned about first of all identifying as black, or
Yeah.
I mean, you actually had a movie, a documentary called Color Me a couple of years ago, which I had the privilege of watching. And
Shout out Shireen Barsoom.
Yes,
director,
yes.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is, I mean, as you said, your mother was white and your father black.
I think he said his mother is, not was.
Oh, was that's
yeah,
right?
she still
Because
is.
she changed
She
now.
still
is.
Yes, exactly. That's right. No, where I kind of identify, and even to your movie, was that my wife is black, and both my kids,
Right.
who in essence are half Greek and half black, identify as black.
Oh, interesting.
And if you look at their friends and their circles, it's like they gravitate towards that as well. It's
What do you
funny.
mean they gravitate towards?
They gravitate
the
towards
black culture.
The black culture.
Wow,
Yeah,
interesting.
and to me, I see that when I'm having my friends over, and I just see where the majority lie, and it's because it's a relating thing, right? They relate to that aspect of things, and I think it's just amazing.
So let me ask you a question. As a Greek man yourself,
Yes.
how does that make you feel that your kids identify more with their black culture than their Greek culture?
I honestly, that's a good question, but to me, there's the first word as you were saying that, something along the lines of it's amazing. It's amazing to me. I mean, I'll be honest. I've been a lazy Greek dad in the sense of I haven't, pushed them to speak the language. However, to me, the culture of what we do, they are aware of it, but there's something on that side that they just pull towards. It's like this vortex of identity, which I just, it's almost like, it's weird. It's just, I just cannot speak to it. But to me,
You mean they're drawn to the black
they're
culture?
drawn to it.
Do
They're
they?
drawn to it. Look, I've even said,
Are you saying this based on like observation of them, or do they actually voice it? Do they say?
like I hear them talking, but when they'll say like in references, like they identify as black, and I go, yeah, I'm black too, and they're like, no, you're white. I'm like, no, don't call me white. I'm European. I'm from the island of Cyprus. I'm an island man as well. But the reality, but the thing is, it's to me, it's really, I don't even want to describe it, but I think there's a cool element to it because they are drawn to that. And one thing that we've always talked about in our family is that if something ever happened to us, both myself and my wife, we would want there to be some sort of black influence over their life. Well, this is specifically like wording from my wife, to make sure that doesn't get lost. Do you know what I mean? That element of culture.
Yeah. You know, the one thing I will say, when like kids gravitate towards black culture, it's important that they're not just gravitating towards something that's trending right now. It's something that's cool right now.
Right.
And that's just like, oh, you can dance. Because that ended up getting me in trouble. Because the part of black culture that was celebrated when I was growing up is like rap music and athletics. So if you could rap and you could dance and you could sing and you were good at sports, like, yeah, you're black and black is cool. But people associated being black with music and sports. So if you were more interested in academic pursuits, you could be told you're not black enough, or you're not doing black right, or I'm blacker than you because I play basketball. I'm blacker than you because I can rap. So it's very important that we don't minimize what it means to be black. And I have a song that we're going to perform about that whole idea. So I'm looking forward to sharing that.
It's
too.
interesting. It's interesting take. One of the topics in school you talk about is diversity. How do you approach it? Obviously, we're in Toronto, most multicultural city in the world, but still, as you're traveling, do you let does the audience dictate how much you talk about diversity, how deep you go into it?
Yeah.
Or is it, or are you basically introducing the theme to them? When you're with them, like how real is diversity to someone in elementary school or in high school? Do they think about it a lot? Is it the only thing that shapes them at that age?
Yeah, so diversity is huge, and you're right. Like where you are plays such a big role, right? So I speak in Alberta and in Manitoba. I speak in very rural communities where there isn't a lot of visible diversity, but there's still diversity, and so it's important that we never put anyone in a box. And that's my whole thing. I speak a lot about unconscious bias. That idea that, oh, that's a black guy, he's probably into these interests. And that dude's in a wheelchair, so he's probably, maybe I should speak slower when I speak to him. Unconscious bias. So diversity, no matter where you are, it exists. And it's important that we get to know people as individuals and not put them in a box based on what we can observe about their gender or their race or their religion.
When you say that, you say it with conviction. Did something ever happen to you where you felt that you were boxed by people's opinion or their thought? Or
yeah, big time. Growing up, that's what happened to me. Living in this, living as a black kid, at a time where I didn't have the mental strength to recognize when someone was looking at me and through the lens of a stereotype. And if I wasn't meeting their stereotype, I love to read. I was a Shakespearean actor, so I can get up on stage and recite Shakespeare. And people would see that and be like, oh, you're whitewashed. And I got called an Oreo, right? Black on the outside, white in the middle. And I didn't have the strength to recognize, oh, that person is really ignorant. They're really shallow. They think all of black culture fits in this tiny little box called like basketball and hip hop. That's actually funny. Right. And I feel bad for you. Yeah. And it's a form of racism in the most subtle way. Even though you think you love black culture, you don't. You're limiting us. Because you would not hire me if I was going for a job. Because you are limiting me to sports and music. And so nowadays I can laugh at it and have the strength, but I didn't as a kid. And so I fell into this pressure of having to fit in. And I went from the top of my class academically. I was a smart kid. My dad is a doctor. I was a smart kid. And I went from the top of my class to the bottom of my class in 1 year because I was getting made fun of and I wanted to fit in so much. Wow. And so now I can look back and be like, oh, what a wasted opportunity. But at the time, that's all I had. So
do you share that story with the kids?
I do, yeah. I share that story, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I use a box. I actually get a cardboard box and I stand in it. And I tell them, sometimes this is what people want you to do. They want you to fit in a box, but you're too big for a box. And I get them to say, I'm too big for a box. And yeah, I love it.
That's sick, man. I mean, I love that. That goes in line with so much of the stuff that our philosophies are. Speaking of kids, okay, and one of the major topics that you lie on is bullying. Okay,
yeah.
We actually interviewed a guest on the show that was motivated through being bullied.
I saw that.
Yeah, to getting into his career into MMA, and then opening up gyms in Canada to do that.
The biggest MMA gym in Canada, right?
Well, to me, your journey to what is now considered, you call it the anti-bully.
I did when I started. Now,
that's what I know it as.
Yeah. So anti-bullying was the term, but when I started, that was the term.
Right.
Now we use the term bullying prevention.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's evolved. Yeah.
It's evolved
over 10 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that, man. First of all, what was your motivation? Were you bullied or did you notice bullying to kind of get you into this mix?
Well, I wonder how many listeners are going to share this story with me. Growing up, I didn't really think about bullying a lot. It happened to me. I also bullied people, but people didn't take it as seriously, and it just was kind of like part of childhood, part of growing up, and so I didn't think about it. And so what happened was I was an actor, and I was hosting a show on CBC television called The X, and it was a kids show. And so part of the show is we travel across the country and all across Canada, and we go to schools and tell kids, hey, we have an important message. Our show is on at 4 o'clock. It's on Channel 6. Tune in. And I would rap for them and crack jokes and give away free stuff, and it was always fun. And I loved going into schools and speaking to students. And at one school, a guidance counselor pulled me aside and said, listen, when you speak, our students listen. You have a gift. And she said, our biggest problem right now is bullying. Could you come back and do a bullying presentation? And I was like, wow, okay, let me think about that. And I went home, and again, I hadn't thought a lot about bullying. I went home and I wrote on a piece of paper. This is one of the moments that changed my life. I wrote on a piece of paper, anti-bullying rap workshop. Anti-bullying rap. And when I wrote it down, it's like the paper started floating. It's like, it was like, whoa. And I prayed about it, and I felt like this confirmation in my spirit, like this is what I need to do. And it combines my love of performing with my love of rapping and so I started researching bullying. And when I started reading Barbara Colaroso and Wendy Craig and Deborah Pepler and all these pioneers of bullying prevention research, Dan Oweas, I realized, oh my goodness, I went through bullying as the only black kid. I remember getting called the names. I remember hiding in a bathroom. But also then I became the kid who had some social power, and I became the kid that other people looked to, and I had followers, and then all of a sudden I started making fun of people, and I used my social power to look down on people and laugh at people and get other people laughing at them too. So I've been a bully, I've been bullied, and I've been a bystander, but it's only in hindsight that I recognize that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's interesting. By request, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't even planning it. Someone
No.
just. Yeah, I never knew that. Never heard that story before.
Sometimes you don't know like where your career, like you have no idea today. Like everyone listening, you don't know what's going to happen by the end of the day today. And sometimes it's someone else that sees that you have a gift that you don't even realize you have. I bet there's someone listening right now and you've got a gift to bake. And when you bake things, people tell you this is amazing. But if you have the personality type to kind of dismiss that, oh no, I was raised that you should never receive a compliment, so forget it.
Right.
You might be missing out on a real big clue, which is you have a gift and your taste palette is so sensitive. You can put together those spices in a way I never could. And keep your ears open and just stay open, because life might be showing you, hey, you have a gift, and now here's an open door in the marketplace, because the market has a need and you have a gift. And where your gift meets the market's need, oh man, anything can happen there. And you can find, your fulfillment in life. So yeah, stay open.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just keep your stick on the ice, like what we were talking about, right?
That's right.
You never know when the puck is going to hit that tape.
Oh, I like that.
Have you had any stories where you were doing a presentation somewhere in the world and you just hit the mark on the head with this one student or one kid that has been going through something, and that your talk changed their outcome?
Yo, thankfully I can say it happens all the time. I can show you my Instagram DMs. I don't check DMs, but once in a while I do. And I tell students not to DM me, because then it gets weird, right? Like, right. But because they're kids. I'm a grown man. You don't want to be DMing a kid. Right. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
So I don't respond, and but the truth is, sometimes I check them, and man, students write me all the time about a difference that I made in their life. One student, the one that changed everything I do, is I told a story in BC about a kid who had a stutter, and who was getting made fun of for this stutter. And I told this kid, hey, you're not the one that needs to change. If you change your stutter, they're going to make fun of your hair. You change your hair, they're going to make fun of the car you show up in. You're not the one that needs to change. There's nothing wrong with you. You're human. You're imperfect because we're all imperfect. You don't need to change. There's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with these kids making fun of you. Why are they so cruel? Why are they so mean? What's going on in them that they have all this toxic energy? And it made a difference. So I told that story at a school in BC. And afterwards, a girl told me, she DM'd me, and she told me on Instagram, I'll show you the screenshot, maybe we can put it up on the screens. But she said, I've been made fun of for my stutter, and I hated myself. But after hearing your story today, I recognize my stutter is what makes me unique. And I'm going to accept myself for the way I am. I'm not the one that needs to change. And when I read that, I was sitting in my car in Vancouver, and it was like, this is why I'm alive, man, to help people accept themselves and love themselves. And so from that experience, I sat in my car and I was like, yo, I'm a rapper. I want to write this as a song. And so I started writing. And I started writing the song called Everyone Stutters. And so I'd love to perform it for you guys.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Man, Anthony, just hearing you talk is getting me pumped. You know, like I want to start rapping.
Let's do it. Hit the beatbox.
but let's rewind before we do that show. The way you articulate, yes.
We're going to do that show. You just said it.
Yes. Before you articulate, the way you articulate, the way you communicate. I mean, one of the things I've known that you've been able to just.
Can I just say, it's very distracting talking to you watching Blue Jays highlights in the back, because it's like, look at Kevin Pillar. Look what he just did. He just climbed up on the wall. Marcus Stroman just struck. It's. I'm trying to stay focused though.
It actually is a test.
It's a test.
It's a
yeah.
test.
It's
Yeah.
even on purpose.
It's strategic.
Oh, they're doing the wave. We just missed the moment.
You're able to put like just freestyle at will, which I've always found incredibly amazing. And I know you do that at a lot of your presentations, right?
I do all my presentations, make up a rap on the spot.
Right. And now, see, I always, if people know me, and they think they do, but I always, for fun, and I do to my kids all the time, and they just give me this like this look, like get out of here. I just put on beats and I just start freestyling, but I always end up saying the same thing over and over again. Or
right.
How do these words come to your mind that you can always pick up the rhyme at will? I find it insanely talented to do that, man.
Yeah, you know what? And it's one of those things where sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes I was at a school. I said, hold stuff in the air. I'm going to rap about whatever you hold in the air. Someone held up a hat. I was like, oh, there's 30,000 words. What rhymes with hat?
Pat.
Bat, cat,
Matt.
Exactly,
this
right?
and that.
This and that, right?
Yeah.
So it's no problem. And then someone else held something else. They held up a pack of gum. So what rhymes with gum?
Rum.
Yo, it's a school, brethren. You can't talk about rum at a school.
That's right.
Dumb? Can you say dumb? In
Dumb.
school?
Dude, we're talking about bullying. We don't want to
Right.
put people down. You guys are not invited to my next presentation.
Bum?
Again,
is bum-
it's going to get everyone, it's too silly.
Right.
But anyway, these words are easy to rhyme with. Then someone held up a bag of chips, and the flavor was salt and vinegar.
Oh.
Okay.
And I said, check out these chips, yo, flavor salt and vinegar.
Oh man.
And I had nothing.
Is that what happened?
That's literally what
Sounded
happened.
like a balloon that just lost its air.
So sometimes it doesn't work, but that's
Right.
kind of the fun. And when that happened, everyone started laughing, and it made the rap better.
Wow.
Because they saw I was really doing it. I'm
Right.
really walking the tightrope, and I might fall.
Right.
So what makes it interesting is, oh my goodness, he just fell. But then he's getting back up, and we're all laughing.
So being put on the spot is basically where you like to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tightrope. That's a great analogy.
Yeah,
for
it's
it.
tightrope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, no, let me be real with you. It's not where I like to be.
yeah.
I'd rather not. I'd rather always have something rehearsed.
Okay,
Because
I
then
see.
I'm safe.
Right.
But the magic happens when you're willing to step out
It's
on
true.
a limb. The magic
It's
happens
true.
when you're willing to take a risk.
Right.
And where there's no risk, there's no reward.
Okay.
So I'd rather stay safe. But yeah, I'll put myself out there because
Item 1, mug. Okay, can we get another item? Let's do it right now.
Intern.
Intern.
intern is
Yeah.
not an item. Intern is a human being.
One more, Jerry.
My
One more.
Oh, I don't know. At 6'4" and 300 pounds, I don't look like an item.
And you're the intern. I keep forgetting.
Yes,
'cause
this is our 17-year-old intern.
and you know what?
And he's the first intern in the world that has his own intern.
Wow.
Yes.
He's
Wow.
he's that.
It's my son, Pat.
Okay.
We're
Okay,
not
I
gonna
like
even
it.
at 17. We're not gonna.
Yeah,
explain
we're not
that.
going together. Jerry. Jerry.
Jerry.
I was busy.
Okay, so how about that? Mug
An intern.
And
Intern.
Perfect.
How about the name
And-
Jerry?
and Jerry. And
Yeah,
the name
Jerry,
Jerry.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Do you need a beat?
I need a beat,
Mike,
man.
Mike, you do that. You do
Okay,
that.
you're pretty good at
No,
beats
but
too.
no, you're a little better.
How about we do it together?
Can you guys play a beat?
No, we're not at that
That's fine.
stage yet. We're
That's
not at that
okay.
stage.
That's all good.
Soon. Once we get one
It's
sponsor.
okay.
Once we get one
What's
sponsor.
Okay, all right. Sponsors, if you're listening, we need some beats.
Yeah.
And standing in the 6.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, check it out. Hey, yo. Check it out. Salt and vinegar chips. I said, hey, freestyling on standing in the 6. And hey, when you freestyle, you're out there, it's kind of scary. But I can freestyle about your intern, Jerry. Yeah, sometimes he likes to diss, make a burn. But I say that's cool. You got to learn when you got an intern and you're an intern. And in turn, that can happen. But Jerry, check it out. It's a freestyle rapping. The people be clapping. And no, I'm not a thug, even though I'm black. Yeah, you know, I don't do drugs, but I got Sentinel on the mug. And so I gotta do it like this, cause I'm getting that bug. Hey yo, I love to rap, and I do it all the time. What's gonna happen when I got my freestyle rhyme? He said, talk about rum and don't talk about wine. When you come to my school, no, don't be a fool, don't break the rule, cause that would be the worst. I'm like, standing in the school, yo, what happened? Yo, you cursed. I gotta kick you out, cause that ain't happening anyway. Everybody, hope you like the rapping, man.
Whoa! There you go.
You know.
There you go.
Oh,
Amazing.
We're just getting word from the producer that nothing was working. We got to do it again. Okay. Amazing.
Rap and connecting to students and the whole. How do you find that? Do you find it's a good segue? I mean, if you love rap,
Huge, man. I'm telling you, no matter where I am in the world, when I say, hey, can I rap? They're like, they love it. Hip hop is is the largest music on the planet right now. And I just love it. It's an amazing way for me to build a bridge with the kids and hit them where they're at. So it's perfect.
You know, something about timing. I guess rap is conducive to connecting with kids. Imagine you were an opera singer, you know, and you said, "Hey kids, anyone want me to sing opera?" You know.
Actually, though, funny enough, I have 2 friends, and they actually put on an opera for kids in schools, Blake and Dave, and they're amazing. So whatever your gift is, you can make it work.
Look
It
at
just
that.
happens to be that hip hop is mine, you know?
My apologies for boxing opera singers.
Anthony, how do people get to know you? The message of what you push out, I think every school should have. In fact, I've actually thought about this for quite a while. Is like it'd be amazing for you to come to my kid's school. You know what I
I
mean?
would love that.
How do you push out the message? How do people find out, like, you know, if they want to bring the message to their schools?
Yeah, so hit me up online, anthonymclean.org, because I couldn't get .com, and my wife makes fun of me all the time for it.
There's an AnthonyMcLean.com out there right now?
Yeah, there is, man. And if you're listening, I'm coming for you, bro. Come at me, bro. I want that. And so anthonymclean.org. So MCLEAN. The letter M and then the word clean. anthonymclean.org. Hit me up on Insta and Twitter as well.
It is pretty funny. Your wife makes fun of you for being a .org.
Well,
Yeah, it's all good.
.org. It sounds like you're calling me a name.
Like a side word, yeah.
This guy's a .org, man. What's wrong with this
Good,
man?
man. Come on.
Man's a .org.
Anthony, you're very creative when it comes to writing. Not only did I see and witness the first year of The Bride,
Hey.
I actually, I don't know if I told you this, when a good friend of ours told us about, you know, that they're in this production that you did called The Bride, and I came out to that. I cried.
Wow.
In that, I mean,
Did you really?
I was so emotionally stirred in that
Wow.
in that performance.
Wow.
It was incredible, and to me, you know,
Let me elaborate while you get yourself together right now. The Bride was an urban musical that was penned by Anthony. 2001 was it? 2002, long time ago.
Yeah.
And by request from a good friend of ours named Jermaine Jackson, not a brother of Michael and family, but an amazing singer. He actually, for Valentine's Day, wanted to do something for people on the topic of love, and he asked Anthony to write a play because of Anthony's theater background. And he penned this play that was incredible. We did it, did it over several years, different runs, partnering with different organizations. One being Urban Promise, that does a lot of work in the city. And what was your role in it? You actually got to. Okay, so first time you watched it.
First time I watched it.
Okay.
And then year 2, I wanted to be part of it.
Yeah.
So I think my stage name at that time was Pitbull, or
It was Pitbull, man.
Yeah.
It was Pitbull.
Yeah.
You kind of look like Pitbull. Maybe that's why I gave you that name.
maybe
Because I wrote that character for you. When you said you want to be part of it, I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But-
you were great in it, man. You had that cigar the whole time on stage. It was perfect.
But look, it's amazing that you were able to write something to move people. You know what I mean? The message was powerful. And I think one of your biggest giftings is that, through who you are as an individual and your influence, you're able to move people, man. I mean,
Thank you.
I was telling this to Mike. One person that, some people might find this funny, but Fred Rogers, he's a huge, of
course.
a huge inspiration because of how he was able to connect. And I think your strength, man, to being able to connect is incredible.
Wow. I mean this with all sincerity. The fact that you would put me in the same sentence as Mr. Rogers, that means the world to me, man.
To me,
Mr. Rogers, Mr. Rogers and Robert Munch are two people I've been compared to that, like, wow, that just blesses me so much, man, because those are heroes, and they truly, Mr. Rogers, he made the world a better place. I heard someone say a leader is someone who looks at the world and says, it doesn't have to be this way, and then does something about it. And for me, Mr. Rogers is that, like, he embodies that perfectly. So man, thank you.
Amazing. Just if people aren't familiar, because there might be a huge audience that doesn't know.
Right.
Because if his show is not streaming.
You don't think he's universal?
I think he is, but there's a chance that people don't know.
Like somebody could not know, yeah.
Yeah. What was it about him that impacted you, and why is he someone that you would love to follow in his footsteps?
Mr. Rogers created a safe place for kids. So he hosted a TV show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and he taught you how to be a good human being. It didn't matter the color of your skin, if you're in a wheelchair, it didn't matter he just taught you how to be a good neighbor. And that was his thing. Won't you be my neighbor no matter who you are, right? And there were kids that were going through a tough time, and they'd come home from school going through a tough time, and Mr. Rogers was there. And he was always there, and he was that safe place and that comforting voice. He gave some of the best advice ever when it came to kids who see scary things on the news. And, when there's a terrorist attack or something horrible happens, he told kids, wherever there is trouble or danger or terror, there are always helpers. So if you see something scary on the news, look for the helpers. And what that does is it anchors a kid. So instead of that kid being anxious and worried, they're always looking for the good. They're looking for the helper. And so I admire him so much.
Ooh, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I guess he equipped kids how to see the world.
How to see the world.
And how to see themselves in it.
And how to see themselves in it,
Yeah.
Maybe how can I help? How can I be a good neighbor,
I think there's one thing that you were saying that you're doing new in schools is you're speaking about mental health.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, can you talk on that?
Yeah, for sure. So mental health is, it's a passion for me. And it's funny, for a long time, people asked me, hey, can you come do a presentation on mental health for our students? You did bullying here. Can you come back and do mental health? And I said no. And I said no to a bunch of schools because I felt like I've never struggled with a mental illness. I'm not a mental illness practitioner. I'm not a doctor. Like, I can't speak on that. And then I realized, I heard a study that said, 1 in 5 of us in our lifetime will have a mental illness. But 5 out of every 5 of us has mental health. Mental health is, how are you dealing with stress? How are you dealing with anxiety? What's your resiliency like? What's your energy level? What's your focus? That's all mental health, or I like to use the term mental fitness. So now I work with leaders in the corporate world and in schools on how they can build a positive culture in their own mind through mental health strategies, and then build that positive culture in their organization and at home with their families.
Okay, interesting. I guess mental illness is something that is, I guess, it's on the mainstream. It's on the radar
Yes,
right now.
big
We
time.
hear it all the time. But you're
Mhm.
saying within that scope, mental health, it's usually thought one and the same. If you were to say those words interchangeably, you would be talking about a small group of people, 20% of the population,
Right.
that suffers silently,
Exactly.
depression
Yeah.
and the like.
Mhm.
But mental health. Okay, so what are some things? So if you're speaking in schools, what do you share with the kids about that? I mean, to introduce it. I mean, I feel like you need to introduce it to us here.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't think about my mental health.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, okay, let's do a mental health exercise right now. I do this with leaders, and it's amazing. It's a game changer. Okay, this is called box breathing. Anytime you find yourself in a situation where your heart rate's going, maybe someone's made you angry, maybe you're feeling stressed out, maybe you're a teacher, you're about to snap at a kid, maybe you're a parent, you're about to snap at a kid. Do box breathing.
I want Jerry to get part of this as well because he was quite upset this morning. So we want to make sure Jerry gets in on this.
Jerry, box breathing. This is for you, okay?
All right, not a problem.
Okay, so box breathing. Here's what you're going to do, all right? You're going to trace with your finger, or you can do it in your mind, a box, right? And you're going to trace around the edges of a box. What you're going to do is you're going to count 1 to 4, and you're going to inhale. Then you're going to count 1 to 4. You're going to hold your breath. Then you can count 1 to 4, and you're going to exhale. Then count 1 to 4, and hold your breath again. You're going to go around in a box. So we're going to do this together right now. Hey, if you're listening with us right now, we're going to do box breathing together. Okay, so we're going to breathe in for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, and breathe in again. Okay, are you ready? Jerry, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. You don't seem passionate about it, but that's okay. Box breathing. Here we go. Okay, breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Now, what happens when you do box breathing is your body, you're sending a signal to your body that you don't need to be in what's called fight or flight mode. That stage we get to when we feel threatened. Maybe you're about to give a speech somewhere and your body doesn't know the difference between, hey, we're nervous right now, our palms are sweaty, and we're feeling anxious, our heart rate is going. Is there a tiger about to attack us? Your body doesn't know the difference. So your body starts sending, cortisone, and your amygdala is in overdrive, and all of a sudden you got this adrenaline flowing and you're ready to either fight or run away. Your body's in that state and you will not think clearly and you will not be cool. So when you do box breathing, what happens is it sends a signal to your body, hey, we don't need all this adrenaline. We're fine right now. I'm going to think my way through this. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to scream my way through. I'm not going to run from this. So box breathing can bring you back down. We do this with kids who have ADHD and find it hard to control their outbursts. We do this with teachers, with parents, with leaders, and it is awesome. You can do it under your breath. No one knows what you're doing, but you're just telling your body, hey, you can come back down.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Ooh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the key is just don't draw the box with your hand if you're doing it amongst other work colleagues. Right? There's Johnny drawing his box again.
Oh, so you don't like my idea? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hear your stupid idea.
I would do this.
Well,
Just with your nose, draw the box.
that's a good tactic to have.
I got really relaxed doing that.
Right?
That's
I got
good.
really relaxed.
I mean, almost relaxed to start performing soon, right?
okay, yeah, sounds
Well,
good.
before
sounds
we
good.
jump into that, just one last thing, Anthony. What are you working on next?
Next, I'm working on coaching for corporate clients. So I've got 2 kids at home, 12 and 10. And what I found was running my own business.
Interesting names, huh? 12 and 10.
12 and 10.
Who would have known that
Stranger.
11 would have been such a popular name from
Yeah.
Stranger
For
Things?
Stranger
right.
Things,
12, 10, let's go.
Yeah, I didn't want to call them 11 because of Stranger Things, so I
Yes.
thought 12 and 10 is close enough.
That's good,
People
that's
get the
good.
reference.
That's
but
good.
Amazing.
And so having kids and running your own business and trying to balance that whole family work thing, man, it was hard for me. And what was happening to me is I'd come home from work and I'd still be in work mode. So I'd walk in the house and I'm still checking email and thinking about what I got to get done and thinking about everything that's happening in work. And then, you know, my wife is asking me to help and my kids are asking for homework and someone drops something and I'm getting irritable and I'm snapping, and I was doing really well at work but really struggling at home. And so I had to take some time and really learn, hey, how do I be a champion at work and at home? I don't just want to kill it on the job. I want to kill it at home. And so I've discovered through, you know, reading books and talking to people and getting advice and listening to others, some real good keys on work-life balance. Can I give you one before we wrap up?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So,
especially in Toronto,
yeah, you know,
we need to hear this every day.
you need to hear it every day.
That balance. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a great one. Everyone has in their family something called prime time. You don't even know you have it, but if you have kids, you have something in your house called prime time. You don't know what it is yet, but you have it. What prime time is there are certain hours in the day where your spouse needs you home. Prime time is all hands on deck. We need everyone helping out at this time.
What is that time?
That's the thing. For every family, prime time is different. And so if you and your spouse both work, you both need to figure out, okay, when is prime time for us? When is the time that it's really important for us to be home or one of us to be home? And if it's one person working and the other spouse is at home, it's really important to have that conversation with the spouse that's home and say to them, hey, when is prime time? Like, when are the hours? Like, if there's like 3 or 4 hours that are like the most key, that I am home during this time, when is that? And once you find that out, I got this from a book called Choosing to Cheat by Andy Stanley, and it's the best book I've ever read about work-family balance. Choosing to Cheat, Andy Stanley. Really short. I recommend it highly.
Kids, stay away from that until you're done school. Okay.
No need for the kids. Yes.
Yes.
But what he says is, once you figure out what those times are, talk to your work and say to your work, hey, is there a way I can get out early? I'll come in early. I'll work at night. But is there a way I can get out early? Because for my family, they really need me for this time. So prime time for me right now is 5 p.m. till 9 p.m. That's prime time. After 9 p.m., if I have to do an hour and a half of emails, it doesn't really affect my family so much. Before 5 p.m., they're also okay without me right now. That's the stage we're in right now. When your kids are younger, it's different. Prime time is like 24 hours a day. I get it.
Yeah.
But find out what prime time is and say to your spouse, I want to be there for prime time. And once you figure out what prime time is, that means that's not the time you go to the gym. That's not the time you hang out with your buddies. And so when I first became a dad and I realized this whole thing, like, whoa, these hours are really key. I had friends that were like, yo, you want to go play ball? And I'm like, no, I don't want. Well, I mean, yeah, of course I want to go play ball, but I'm not going to do that to my spouse because she's been holding it down all day. And now I'm not going to say, I'm going to go hang out with the guys while you take care of the kids. That's whack. Mm-hmm. And so find out what prime time is, make it a priority, and do everything in your power to be there for as much of prime time as you can. Sometimes it's impossible, but you taking the effort, that sends such a big message to your kids and to your spouse that you want to be there. So figure out prime time, make it a priority, and try to be there for as much of it as you possibly can.
Amazing.
Ooh, that's
I'm going to
awesome.
apply that.
Yes,
That's
I think
sick.
our wives,
need to
our
apply
wives
that.
are going to be listening to this
Oh, yeah,
podcast.
absolutely.
As of today,
Yeah,
it's going to change.
Exactly.
Okay.
Amazing.
So this takes a couple of weeks before it airs. So I got
No, I
some
know,
time.
I
I got
know.
some time. Let's get some hoop therapy in.
Come on.
AnthonyMcLean.org.
Yes.
Alex, it's McLean.org. And,
No, it's McLean.
exactly.
Not McLean.
That was a test.
I didn't correct my 6th grade friend. I'm not about to correct you now.
How did I just correct Alex? Oh, my goodness.
Alex,
Anthony
get in
McLean,
here, Alex.
AnthonyMcLean.org. Thank you very much. I can't wait right now what we're about to see.
Thanks for coming, dude.
Yeah, for
Anthony.
sure. You guys, listen, thank you so much for having me. It means a lot. And yeah, I'm really glad I got to hang out with you guys.
Amazing. All right, let's
Cool.
do it.
Let's
Let's
do
do
it.
it.
Let's go.
Song's called Everyone Stutters. Put yourself in someone else's shoes, you know? It goes like this. I know a family just got evicted and they got a sick kid and they got no kitchen and Popeye's no chicken. They just split a biscuit. Mom, dad, brother, sister. The teenager, he's got a vision. He'll go to college, he won't go to prison. He goes to school, bullies are with him. They always cool, he doesn't fit in. Now every day they make fun of his clothes. Somebody noticed the holes in his soles. He holds it in, he doesn't blow. When they make fun of his mom, he explodes. Punch and scratch and everyone yells. One bloody nose, he is expelled. He's on the streets, he starts to sell. 4 months later, the kid is in jail, but you don't know what he going through. He don't know what he gon' do. Struggle is real, it's so true. Walk in his shoes, he'll show you. You don't know what he going through. He don't know what he gon' do. Struggle is real, it's so true. Walk in his shoes, show you. Everyone stutters, everyone struggles. A soldier just died and his wife is in puddles. She goes to bed now with no one to cuddle. Crying in public, she tries to be subtle. She got a 6-year-old daughter at home. Kid doesn't know that her father is gone. She doesn't think that her hero can die. He's been away now, she wonders why. She draws a picture of daddy flying. Mama sees it, she starts crying. Smoke detector, dinner's frying. The fire alarm is better than silence. That night the kid prays, angels keep my daddy safe. Mom gets into bed beside her girl, but she's still wide awake, and you don't know what she going through. She don't know what she gon' do. Struggle is real, it's so true. Walk in her shoes, she'll show you. You don't know what she going through. She don't know what she gon' do. Struggle is real, it's so true. Walk in her shoes, she'll show you. Everyone stutters. Sometimes you stutter, it's not what you utter. Sometimes you stutter, it's just something other. Family, origin, shade of your color. You come from the gutter. Hand me down clothes that you got from your brother. Maybe the nose that you got from your mother. No, she ain't perfect, but you gotta love her. You had her rough, she had her rougher. Maybe a stutter is how much you weigh. Maybe you thinking that you gotta change. Maybe you need to start loving the day. Maybe I need to start doing the same. You are unique, that's why you have a stutter. Keep showing up, don't hide under the covers. I'm looking out for my sisters and brothers. No matter what happens, be good to each other, cause you don't know what we going through. We don't know what we gon' do. Struggle is real, it's so true. Walk in our shoes will show you. You don't know what we going through. We don't know what we gon' do. Struggle is real, it's so true. Walk in our shoes will show you. Hey, you walk past people every day, you know. You see them on the bus, you see them on the streetcar. The truth is, you have no idea what that person is going through. So be good to people, you know.
Because you are not alone.
You ain't alone.
You are not alone.
No, you ain't alone.
You are not alone.
No matter what you're going through,
you are not alone.
there's someone else on that streetcar that knows.
You are not alone.
No, you ain't alone.
You are not alone.
Gotta reach out for that help.
You are not alone.
You gotta tell someone what's going on.
You are not alone.
Yeah.
Thank God we alive. Yeah.
All right. The song is called We Can Change It. I hope you feel the words. I remember 6th grade, talking in class,
Right.
and somebody walked up and asked, he said, "Hey, why you talk like a white guy?"
White guy.
I was confused. I was like, wow, what do you mean? How do I talk? He told me that I sounded too smart, and that's not a good thing. He said, you're black, it's supposed to be a hood thing. Ghetto life. Tried to give me a pound, I didn't get it right. Slapped my high five into his fist. He said it twice. He called me Oreo, it's black, but the scent is white. That was the day I cracked. Decided right there that I'd be more black.
Okay.
So I leaned when I walked, put slang in my talk. I changed who I was, I tried to play the part, but I played myself. Man, it's real hard to stay yourself.
But that's how it is today.
I'm just being real, man. That's what happened.
We looking for a better way.
I know there's a better way. We can change it.
And I can hear the future say,
Yeah.
yeah, I can hear the future say, whoa,
Yo. Wouldn't it be funny if you thought that you know everything about me because of my skin tone? It'd be funny if you looked at my face and then judged me because of my race. You don't give me a chance, no look in the eyes, no shake of the hands. You don't even know my name, haven't heard my pain, don't know where I came from. You don't know the books I read, the tears I shed, my loved ones that are dead. You haven't heard my story, don't know my dreams, can't see my glory. You know none of it, and you run from it. And you think you can judge me because of this, the skin that I'm in? But that's how it's always been.
That's right. But that's how it is today.
We can change it, we can change it.
We looking for a better way.
We can change it, we can change it.
And I can hear the future say,
Man, it's on me, it's on you. Come on.
Yes, I can hear the future say,
Yeah, come on, I know.
'cause I know we can make a better way.
We can make a better way.
Maybe we can start today.
We can start today.
I can hear the future say,
We can change
I
it.
know we
Come on.
can make a better way.
We can make a better way.
Maybe we can start today.
Maybe we can start today.
I can hear the
We
future
can
say,
change it. We can change. Who does God love? Is it black or is it white? I'm asking, who does God love? Is it the Muslim, the Christian, or the Jew? Like, who does God love? Is it the rich or the poor? Who does God love?
Right?
Is it me or is it you?
I don't know.
Who does God love?
All of the above.
Who does God love? I want to know.
All of the above.
Who does God love? Who should I love?
All of the
Yeah.
above.
Who should I love?
All of the above.
Man, the way I grew up
Na, 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 na.
doesn't have to be the way these kids grow up.
Na, 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 na.
And even when they judge,
You
don't let your shoulders slump.
are enough.
And when they knock you down,
You
He will lift you up.
are enough.
You are enough.
You
You are enough.
enough.
You are enough. You are enough.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Make sure to drop by next week.
Let's go.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Let's go!
It's time to give a shout out to our sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by Sentinel Security Plus. For all your premium security needs, visit sentinelsecurityplus.com. We got some questions for you.
Holla at your boy.
What do you stand for?
Hey Constantine, it's Mike.
Hey, what's up, Shades?
I know the perfect guest for next week. Neil Forster.
Hey, that's the marketing whiz who organized the first Canada-wide music tour for Kanye, Prince, and Justin Bieber.
Speaking of, did you know he once stuffed Bieber in a hockey bag?
What?